farther apart.
I know
there.
you don't worry about it.
What about the?
We don't.
What about you
We don't want
folks?
to get beat up for that.
What about you folks?
You guys are okay. Go ahead. This is your day. This is your day.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be our day without you.
Yeah.
So come, please, please.
And then, ma'am, if I could just have you say your first and last name first and your relationship whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'm Janet Pruszynski Johnson. My sister Helene was the victim, and I'm here today to have justice for my sister's death. And I am deeply indebted to all these people who have helped solve this case over the 40 years. Helene was a shining star in the lives of my family and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And I just can't thank the Douglas County Sheriff, the District Attorney, and the endless number of people that worked on Helene's case and solved it. And now, today we have a person in jail who will be there for the rest of his life, and I'm so grateful for that. Thank you.
Were you able to take a couple questions?
Yes.
Or would you rather have all the folks speak and then you want to do questions afterwards?
Maybe somebody else can speak, and then I'll take a question. Anybody else want to speak? If you don't want to, Kim, that's fine. Okay, questions then. Yeah.
I think we're just very grateful to Douglas County for all of the hard work that they've done. This has been more and more we learn about how this case has been brought to closure. It's mind-boggling of the team effort across all of Colorado. Today is about Helene. It's not about her killer. It's about finally giving her some peace and bringing the rest of us some peace so that we can just enjoy the memories and the cherished memories we have of her.
And can you give your name?
Kimberly Obremski LaTourette. I'm a high school friend of Helene Pruszynski's.
So a friend of Helene.
Friend of Helene.
As a friend, can you just talk about, did you ever think this day would come that you would be able to put away the killer of her?
I did, and I think in my impact statement today, you heard that there's been many of us who have been actively involved and engaged since the time of her death, making sure that this case never died and that it had visibility at all times. And any time we saw it start to waver even a little bit, we would jump on an airplane and try to shake the trees and do whatever we could to play our part. But it really is the fine work of the detectives and all the people here today that did this for us. We were just a voice in the background saying, please, please, don't forget. And we knew it would happen just with the advancements of technology and the fact that we knew that they had his DNA.
Can you go back to that day when a detective calls you and says, we found her killer? Can you take me back to that day? What went through your mind?
Shock. Shock. Just pure shock. I just couldn't, it just came from left field. I didn't really see it coming. And it came right before the holidays, and it came literally right before the 40th anniversary of her death. And so it made for an amazing Christmas celebration. So.
Do you want to ask the same questions? What was your thought when you got that phone call that says, hey, we found?
I was pulling off I was coming home in my car, and I saw the phone number coming from Colorado, and I just had a feeling it was this news. So I pulled off, and I think Andrea and Chris and George maybe, they said, now be calm. And so they told me, and I just lost it. And because it was just a relief. And my parents are no longer alive, my brother's no longer alive, so it was like they are sharing in this moment even though they're not here. And I have so much gratitude for the help that they offered me. Kim said it was a good holiday. It was a good holiday, but it brought back so many memories. And but we have so many good memories of Helene, and those we will keep in our heart forever. And I think that will stay in many people's hearts forever.
Do you mind sharing one of those good memories of your sister?
Oh, I don't know. She was my little sister, and she came up to college with. She came up for a weekend with my parents, and she stayed at the dorm with us. And she was just this. She was 9 years younger than I am, and so here's this 9-year-old girl, and she just followed me around, and all my friends just loved her. So even at a small age, she just radiated this brilliance about her. This rainbow of sunshine, but she was just this bright light, and she's just a special woman whose life was taken way too soon. So
You always hear about, someone says closure. Does this give you that closure now that you finally know who did this?
it gives me some peace knowing that this beast is in jail, but I don't think we'll ever have closure because Helene's not here, and that void will remain with us forever. So there's a chapter that is ending, but the book continues on, and we'll just have to continue on as we have, but knowing that justice has been served is a relief.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about either you or Tim. Just tell us a little bit about what that was like to go sort of face to face with this person. How did that feel?
I didn't go face to face. I did not want to see his face. So when his face was on the screen, I turned away. I did not want to hear his statement. So when his lawyer spoke for him, I left the room. I just don't want to hear a word or see him because I have not been able to see my sister or listen to my sisters for 40 years. So I have no desire to hear what he has to say or what he looks like.
You said, what does it mean to have a department like this and these folks behind the scenes that never gave up, kept using like you said, the technology, and finally were able to capture this man?
I don't think I have the words. These people are miracle workers. They're heroes. They're cut above, and each and every one of them devoted their hearts and souls to Helene's case. And to meet them and finally see them face to face and say thank you, it's just such a joy. And I respect all of them and what they have done, and hopefully they will continue. I know they will continue to do this for others, because with the technology we have today, a lot more cases hopefully will be solved. A lot more families will get the justice that we have received. So they are the best of the best. Thank you.
Is there someone from the police department that can talk about how we got to this point and how you were able to track down this gentleman through the DNA and stuff? The detectives want to talk, or is it?
I think really today it's really about the family. There's been many facts put out there about all of the ways this was solved with technology, with hard work by many law enforcement agencies over that entire 40 years. But today's really about the family. And I think for all of us, and especially any of us that have worked on this case over the years and worked on it recently, today was heart-wrenching to hear the family stories, to know more about Helene, to hear what they went through in 1980 when Helene disappeared and was murdered. I think we all felt more closure than them probably, but closure in the fact that we could finally know who Helene was from their experiences and from them knowing her. And I think that was very good for all of us to be able to feel that and see that. We'll continue to think about them for many years and what Helene went through and what they went through during those days, but to hear all of her friends and for her to be described and her life and the memories they had of her was very satisfying for me, and I'm sure the rest of the people that worked on this case and worked so hard. We just want to thank them today for coming and for giving us this closure to know Helene better. That's all.
I have one last question. Can you just talk about, did you guys never give up hope that you knew someday we're going to find her case?
I think I can't speak for the investigators that came before, the sheriff or I, but from that point on, everyone that worked on this case somehow knew, somehow, I believe they knew somehow this would be solved. And from the first piece of evidence that was collected in 1980, and the care that was taken to put that away, and for it to still be valid 40 years later to find her killer, is amazing to me. And I think that everyone that opened this case and saw the pictures of Helene and saw what she went through, they wanted to solve it. And they somehow knew that someday it would be solved. And, you know, today is a day of closure for us, like I said, as well. And we're just thankful. We're thankful for all the investigators through the years, all the entities that helped, the DA's office that helped. Everyone was responsible for bringing this monster to justice.
Can you comment how many people were involved in this investigation, like throughout the years, like how many police officers and detectives were involved? Do you know?
Tommy may know how many witnesses?
Over 80.
Over 80?
Witnesses or people involved in working on it. There was over 80 detectives and people from CBI, Englewood, that were involved in this case from the get-go.
And you know, Sheriff Spurlock started 40 years ago here, right around the time that she was killed, and I think he took a personal interest in getting this case solved and putting the people to it to make sure that it was solved. But every sheriff before him, since Helene was found, has taken a personal interest in saying, we've got to try to do something about this case. We've got to try to find her killer, and maybe by finding him, prevent other women or other people from being killed by him.
Can I get your name and your title, ma'am?
Holly Nicholson Cluth, the undersheriff.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Do you want to say something?
I do, if you don't mind. Listen, George Brockler, District Attorney. They're not going to say it, and that's another reason that they're great at what they do, but we don't get here today without the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. And you heard the undersheriff talk about the decades of effort from different individuals to get here, but I want to call out a couple people by name, Jensen and Barella. Without them and the support of even volunteers to help out with the cold case unit, we don't get here. And while I'm so appreciative of the very generous words that Ms. Johnson has said, thank you, I feel like the public ought to know that there are two big things that helped us get here. One, it was the dogged determination of a law enforcement agency that would never give up. But the part of that I think is important to know is an appropriately funded one. When I took over this office, when Sheriff Spurlock took over, there was a renewed emphasis on solving cold case homicides so that we could have more moments like this moment of potential closure and some sense of justice on these. I think the other thing that you ought to know, and it's with some irony that I tell you this, today is the first day that prosecutors in Colorado no longer have the tool of a potential death penalty to help us resolve cases like this without putting these victims, these good people, through a long and tortured trial. We could not do that from this day forward had this crime occurred now. But we were able to do it because we had a death penalty back then. I think for me, I feel lucky. I feel lucky that I'm here at this time, and I've been fortunate enough to attract to this office great prosecutors like Kellner, like Wilcox. I've been able to work with the best sheriff's office in the state of Colorado to try to get this done, and then to have good people. And I remember the phone call. In fact, I think I was on orders with the Army in Germany when we called. Yeah, when we called you, we did this super linked up call. But I remember the sound in your voice, and I remember trying to put myself there and thinking, what must it have been like to go to bed every single night wondering if you'd ever know who your sister's killer was, if it would ever be solved. And then that moment when you heard they got him. And the idea that that justice can be delayed, but it can't ever be denied. As long as you have people like this committed to this, I think we're going to have more success stories like this, and hopefully more Miss Johnsons and other friends to come out here and do this. My hat's off to the superstars from the Douglas County Sheriff's Office and all the other people that helped make this happen.